Anyway, one last thing on the show I wanted to get to. This is a story on Media Trackers that is stunning. Just how far people, left-wing, at any level of government, how far the left-wing folks in power will go. So we know how far the president will go. You know exactly how far unions will go. The legislature will go to protect their power. How about Campbell, Wisconsin? You would not normally think you'd have to worry about some left-wing guy in Campbell, Wisconsin. But you do. Here is a Wisconsin police chief in Campbell, Wisconsin, because that police chief had tried to deny some members of the Lacrosse Tea Party their right to protest Barack Obama. They were sued. The police chief was sued. Tim Kellerman is his name. Was sued by the members of the Lacrosse Tea Party because the chief, ordered his law enforcement officers to get him off a bridge, an overpass. This was the overpasses for Obama story from Lacrosse. So he was sued. Instead of, and Campbell, Wisconsin, the town of Campbell, Wisconsin's defending him. He's not like expending his own resources or anything. He's sued in his capacity as police chief. Because of this, and in order to stop the Lacrosse Tea Party people from proceeding with their lawsuit, the police chief decided to sign up the head of the Lacrosse Tea Party, a guy named Greg Luce, for healthcare.gov, gay porn websites, and created a fake profile for him on Match.com. This is according to a story on MediaTrackers.org today. So here's a police chief. He's so offended that somebody would dare challenge his power that he would actually go this far to try to personally harass the guy challenging his power. One of the guy who's representing sort of the group of people challenging his power. Greg Luce is a local activist in Lacrosse Tea Party, and Chief Tim Kellerman has been accused, and in fact, they have documentation that he is the one who decided to go after his tormentors, also known as people who just want the right to speak freely and criticize President Obama, by signing up his tormentors to different fake websites. Yeah, it says here, facing a federal lawsuit, Kellerman decided to take revenge into his own hands. A report filed by an investigator with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office says Kellerman established a fake identity for Greg Luce on Match.com, signed him up for solicitations from numerous gay pornography websites, and signed up Mr. Luce for healthcare.gov. Subpoenas of various website records found that Kellerman used both his office police department computer and his personal computer to build the fake identity and generate email solicitations. He also trolled a local newspaper website under the screen name of Bill O'Reilly to leave comments demeaning to Luce. Video footage of the interview between Kellerman and an attorney with the Monroe County District Attorney's Office and the sheriff's investigator has been obtained and made public by the Lacrosse Tea Party organization. When Kellerman was asked by the investigator if he knew anything about Mr. Greg Luce, he said he's nuttier than blank. Denied having any knowledge of signing up Greg Luce for personal harassment. So what was Luce's offense? What was the Lacrosse Tea Party's offense? It wasn't even Lacrosse Tea Party acting as a group. It was members of the Lacrosse Tea Party. They held up signs that said impeach Obama. That's all they did on an overpass over I-90. Or I think up there, I don't think they call it I-90 up there. I think I-39. There's an overpass, and they were standing there with big signs that said impeach Obama. And they were told they couldn't do that. And they were run off the overpass. And so they went back out. And they wore T-shirts that had the words, the letters that spelled out impeach Obama instead of carrying signs, because the police chief claimed that they had violated a sign ordinance on overpasses, which, of course, was passed solely to try to stop these guys from ever going out on the overpass. But it's okay, fine, we won't carry a sign. We'll wear T-shirts that say, which I thought was very clever. It said impeach Obama. And then they all walked out onto the overpass wearing their T-shirts that spelled out impeach Obama. And the police chief dispatched officers to go and run them off the bridge. And they were also charged with violating the sign ordinance in multiple ways. one, wearing the T-shirts, and two, for carrying an American flag, because an American flag was considered a sign. So the La Crosse Tea Party people got the Thomas More Law Center to file a suit on their behalf, claiming their First Amendment rights were being denied, named both the city council or the town council person and the police chief. And this is what they get for the effort. You're not going to challenge our authority. We know it's best. Not going to challenge us. That's what this says. The left is not afraid to use its power, clearly. And they're not afraid to use their powers in ways that make other people blanch. But they do. So here you go. This is up at MediaTrackers.org. He is now officially needing to defend himself, as I understand. He may actually have to personally defend himself in this latest claim being made against him. Wow, dude. Really? Really? All they did, there were like 9 of them. They just walked out on a bridge. That's all they did. With a flag. And a sign, and T-shirts that spelled out a sign. That's all they did. Why didn't you leave them alone? And not only that, but once the Thomas More Law Center came after you, they're not slouches. This is a pro bono civil rights group that defends free speech. Unlike the ACLU, Thomas More Law Center will throw down pretty hardcore for free speech. Just let it, instead of just say, okay, I'm a police chief. I was told I had to enforce the ordinance, but no. That's just crazy stuff. He now faces a Class H felony to intentionally misuse a person's personally identifying information or pose as that person to harm their reputation. Oh, there's more evidence, too, according to the Media Tracker story. The police chief, upon questioning, said Tea Party activists are irresponsible and dangerous. That's why he felt compelled to want to protect the public from their irresponsible and dangerous message, apparently, of impeaching the president. Never mind, they were ahead of their time. There's an entire book out now making the case to impeach the president. All these guys were doing was having a little bit of fun with their activism, and that's just not allowed. So go find that story if you want on MediaTrackers.org. Greg Luce he's a good dude. He's a very animated guy. And my best guess is that he's going to be able to figure out, he's going to probably be able to figure out his way out of this defamation. But my best guess is also that he will not stop fighting until, the last man drops on the field. But anyway, go read the story. Greg Luce, La Crosse Tea Party, target of a police chief who thought it was inappropriate that a Tea Party guy thought he should have free speech rights in Campbell, Wisconsin. Have a good day.